Buenos dias. Wake up, wake up. You already know Omni Cosmic in the house. We're a little late today. Actually, we're a lot late today, but that's okay. We still here. Better late than never. Testing your commitment and your dedication. um, yeah, this was gonna be real short. This was gonna be like it's 7:19. I'm 19 minutes in where I've done nothing. Um, so you get to see me make some coffee or put some coffee together. Um, Sweet, right? I'm gonna wait the 2 minutes anyway, just to see if anyone comes in. 20 minutes later, I don't think anybody's gonna come in, but that's okay. It will be up there so you can see it later if you choose to. So what I've been trying to do is find a place or something to do as say maybe like a daily hobby, maybe. I love walking. I don't know if you guys already know that. You should, but if you haven't, you don't. I do. Um, so walking is a little bit more difficult for me nowadays. Um, I have a lot more pain after, like a lot, tons. So I got an e-scooter. So I took it yesterday to the park. It was really nice. I made some video on it. I'm thinking about making another channel for that particular type of activity. Um, it's like a trail. It's a Florida trail. Really nice, amazing, humongous. But the actual trail takes you from coast to coast. So it's a bike trail. Yeah, from coast to coast in Florida. Pretty neat stuff. It's really nice. Coast to coast trails, I think it's called. If you go online and look for it, um, very nice trailways, clean. The pavements are brand new. And there was a neighborhood I used to live in that I went to go visit. On my way there, they just built a new rotary um, with a statue in the middle of it. So I was doing that yesterday. So I'm tired today. I'm very tired today. My body's hurting. But that's okay because I got some exercise, which is what I needed, and a new place I found to go. It's not too far. Um, and there's actually connecting, say like, um, I don't know if. So I'm from up north, right? Up north, gas stations you don't see them in the city, right? You don't see a gas station. You see maybe like at the edge of a neighborhood, you might see a gas station, maybe. But where I grew up, there was no gas stations. I don't even remember going to a gas station to purchase anything. We used to go to the corner store. That's what we called it, right? The la bodega. Um, Here it's not the same. So you can't just go downstairs from your apartment to the store. You can't do that here. You have to go to the market. It's because it's mostly, even in the city. I think you can do it in the city, but the cities are really small out here in terms of like Central Florida. They have like the main downtowns are really small. Then they have like extensions, new downtowns that they're building or that have been built within the last, I don't know, 20 years. There's also smart cities. I don't know if you guys heard of those. Um, there's a smart city in Kissimmee, Florida. I think they're connected to these trails. Maybe, I'm not sure. Anyway, so wake up, wake up. You already know I'm in Cosmic in the house. Again, I'm late because I'm late. Um, Today's Wisdom Wednesday. Happy Wisdom Wednesday. I'm tired, I'm out of it, but let's do it anyway. When in doubt, take it out. There we go. So again, Wisdom Wednesday still hasn't been added to the list. So here's the list that I read from, where I have all my information, poem and the affirmation and the daily quote. It's not here. So I'll have to look for. Thank you for the like. Listen, I'm out of it today, so I'm a little discombobulated. Give me a sec. Por favor. Let's see if I can find it. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. I need to organize this stuff. I don't have the time on a weekday to do so. So I just gotta look for it. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. So I use Gemini. I actually have a subscription to it. It's not that expensive. Um, okay. Let me see if it finds it. I'm gonna say Open Wisdom Wednesday. See if it opens it up. No, it's not finding it. Search chat. There it is. Hmm. All right, well, happy Wisdom Wednesday. Wake up, wake up. You already know Omni Cosmic in the house. Love your soul, natural raw. We listen twice and speak once. Happy Wisdom Wednesday. Since we are officially at the hump of the week, it is a perfect time to pause, reflect, and gather some mental fuel to finish strong. So you're in the middle of the week. We pass. Is it Manifestation Monday and Tuesday was um, Transcendent Tuesday. So Tuesday yesterday was really good for me. Yesterday was a lot deeper in terms of reflection and uh, putting things together, right, for me. So yesterday I had some time to think. I was going on this trail. It was really nice. It was quiet. It was beautiful. I had a great time. But anyway, there's Wisdom Wednesday. So let's see if I can find it. Let me see. It's not showing up the way I want it to. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix it. It's not showing up, so I'm gonna just randomly do a quote because I just don't have time. I gotta do it this weekend, maybe. I have to. Hello, hello. Buenos dias, buenos dias. All right. I want to take my time, man. I'm not rushing, man. All right, so here's the morning affirmation I just came up with because I didn't. It's written in there. I just haven't I haven't copied it to my list and my notes for my book, so I can open it up in the morning, which I'm gonna do today because I don't want to go through this again. I'm really late, so that's all right. I trust the wisdom of my inner voice and the lessons of my journey. I do not need to have all the answers today. I only need the clarity to take the next step, the next right step, with grace and intention. That's the quote for today. Oh, that's the affirmation. Um, so trust. Uh, so the midweek brings a lot of mental fog or fatigue. This affirmation helps you reinforce in three specific ways: trust over tension. It reminds you that you already possess the experience needed to handle what's on your plate. Releasing the outcome. Wisdom is knowing that you don't have to solve the whole puzzle at once, just a piece in your hand. Intentionality. Um, it shifts your energy from being reactive, responding to. Okay. And every day I say you have a little micro affirmations. Affirm yourself. Today I was late. It's 7:30. I was supposed to start at 7 o'clock. Affirm. I got up and did it anyway. So it's an affirmation for me, right? It's like I got up and I did it. Um, hello. Buenos dias. Um, Let me see if I can find. Um, I'm searching for it and I just can't find it right now. Or maybe I can't find it. Hold on. No, I'm gonna look in my drive. It should be in my drive. Let me see if I can find it in my drive. Like it should be there. All right, Wisdom Wednesday. Let's go. Let's get it started again. Okay. Let's see. All right, I found it. There it is. Wisdom Wednesday. I was looking for that. I'm late today. I'm like a half an hour late. So, okay, I trust my inner voice. I move through this day with clarity, making decisions that align with my highest truth. Um, that's today's affirmations. It's just putting everything. Again, I'm using Gemini, artificial intelligence. So I'm asking, where's my stuff? Where's this at? And it's like just pointing me everywhere but where I need to be because I'm not asking the right question. That's okay. Um, so hmm. All right. So the quote is from Socrates. This is a quote. It says the only true wisdom is knowing you know nothing. That's from Socrates. Here's a poem. Let me see if I can find it. All right. Beneath the noise, a quiet well, while all your deepest truths do dwell. Be still and listen to the flow, for your heart already knows. I can't find it. I'm gonna have to find it. So anyway, we're gonna read the Bible. So here we go. This is Samuel, book 1, verse chapter 20. So today's a real short day. I didn't wake up in time, so let's do this as fast as we can. Um, I'm just gonna play it. So I'm gonna go to the U version. Then I'm gonna go to where it says Bible. I'm gonna click on Bible. There's reading Samuel 1, book 21. Let's go. 1 Samuel chapter 21. David went to Nob, to Ahimelech the priest. Ahimelech trembled when he met him and asked, "Why are you alone? Why is no one with you?" David answered Ahimelech the priest, "The king sent me on a mission and said to me, 'No one is to know anything about the mission I'm sending you on. As for my men, I've told them to meet me at a certain place. Now then, what have you to hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread or whatever you can find.' But the priest answered David, 'I don't have any ordinary bread to hand. However, there is some consecrated bread here, provided the men have kept themselves from women.' David replied, 'Indeed, women have been kept from us, as usual whenever I set out. The men's bodies are holy even on missions that are not holy. How much more so today?' So the priest gave him the consecrated bread, since there was no bread there except the bread of the presence that had been removed from before the Lord and replaced by hot bread on the day it was taken away. Now one of Saul's servants was there that day, detained before the Lord. He was Doeg, the Edomite, Saul's chief shepherd. David asked Ahimelech, 'Don't you have a spear or sword here?' 'I haven't brought my sword or any other weapon, because the king's mission was urgent.' The priest replied, 'The sword of Goliath the Philistine, whom you killed in the valley of Elah, is here. It is wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. If you want it, take it. There is no sword here but that one.' David said, 'There is none like it. Give it to me.' That day David fled from Saul and went to Achish, king of Gath. But the servants of Achish said to him, 'Isn't this David, the king of the land? Isn't he the one they sing about in their dances? Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands.' David took these words to heart, and was very much afraid of Achish, king of Gath. So he feigned insanity in their presence. And while he was in their hands, he acted like a madman, making marks on the doors of the gate and letting saliva run down his beard. Achish said to his servants, 'Look at the man, he's insane. Why bring him to me? Am I so short of madmen that you have to bring this fellow here to carry on like this in front of me? Must this man come into my house?' 1 Samuel chapter 22. David left Gath and escaped to the cave of Adullam. When his brothers and his father's household heard about it, they went down to him there. All those who were in distress or in debt or discontented gathered round him, and he became their commander. About 400 men were with him. From there David went to Mizpah in Moab, and said to the king of Moab, 'Would you let my father and mother come and stay with you until I learn what God will do for me?' So he left them with the king of Moab, and they stayed with him as long as David was in the stronghold. But the prophet Gad said to David, 'Do not stay in the stronghold. Go into the land of Judah.' So David left and went to the forest of Hereth. Now Saul heard that David and his men had been discovered, and Saul was seated, spear in hand, under the tamarisk tree on the hill at Gibeah, with all his officials standing at his side. He said to them, 'Listen, men of Benjamin. Will the son of Jesse give all of you fields and vineyards? Will he make all of you commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds? Is that why you've all conspired against me? No one tells me when my son makes a covenant with the son of Jesse. None of you is concerned about me, or tells me that my son has incited my servant to lie in wait for me, as he does today.' But Doeg the Edomite, who was standing with Saul's officials, said, 'I saw the son of Jesse.
come to Ahimelech, son of Ahitub at Nob. Ahimelech inquired of the Lord for him. He also gave him provisions and the sword of Goliath the Philistine. Then the king sent for the priest Ahimelech, son of Ahitub, and all the men of his family, who were the priests at Nob, and they all came to him.
So in this book, the biggest story that I know that I can recognize is the story of David and Goliath. I think there it is. This is kind of way I like reading, well, studying this guy because you can find stuff. So here it is. So if you see it right there, David and Goliath. So there's a movie out now. I think it's called David. Is it by Pixar or Disney that owns Pixar or Disney that owns all the cartoon creative people in the world? They have, so let's do this, right? If I want to tell you something and I'm gonna do to you, and I know it's not really legal, but if I tell you and you don't do anything about it, and I still do it anyway, and I pass the law, and then everybody else is affected by it because you didn't say anything about it. It's like it's like being an employee when you go to work, and nowadays at work they ask you to do a lot more than just work. They ask you for participation. They have all these social programs at work, which is kind of crazy to me, but anyway, because usually it used to be like those things you keep away from work, but now they're including all that stuff. I don't see religion being included, but all types of personal ideas that people have that turn into, say, like group things and things like that. They're introducing it into the job, into the employee, like daily, work philosophy. So people are doing a lot more if you're working for corporations in terms of just growing work. They're asking all types of things from you to better, the jobs and things of that nature, your job, your communication with people, whatever the case may be. But there it is. The most significant thing I got from Samuel, the book of Samuel, is that story. And there's a movie coming out now. So in the movies, they tell you what they're going to do before they do it, or they tell you your history so that you can know what's going on, because they treat you like children. They entertain you. But in their entertainment, they show you things. Give me a second. Boiling some eggs. I don't want them to boil over. So there it is. That's the most significant thing that I got from this book, is the story of David and Goliath. Everything else is just what you're hearing now. There's a lot of deceit, a lot of manipulation, a lot of anger, a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of crazy stuff in this Old Testament that in the New Testament says you can't do these things. But look at it this way: if you were in power, you wouldn't let them do that anyway. You would want them to follow you, right? So you do anything in your power to keep power, which is what is being done today. But anyway, so that's the most significant book or teaching that I learned from Samuel. Book 1 is the story of David and Goliath, because I already knew it. I was already taught it. See, it's already in my head. Even through the movies. Okay, here we go. So I just wanted to say that. I hope you're enjoying it. This is a really short day today because I woke up late. I had great experiences in terms of reconditioning the way I think, the way I see things, what type of environment I involve myself in. It's all part of reconditioning. So so this Samuel 22, there's like 4 more. There's 28 chapters, so we're on 22. Let's go.
Saul said, "Listen now, son of Ahitub." "Yes, my lord," he answered. Saul said to him, "Why have you conspired against me? the son of Jesse, giving him bread and a sword, and inquiring of God for him, so that he has rebelled against me and lies in wait for me, as he does today. Ahimelech answered the king, who of all your servants is as loyal as David, the king's son-in-law, captain of your bodyguard, and highly respected in your household? Was that day the first time I inquired of God for him? Of course not. Let not the king accuse your servant or any of his father's family, for your servant knows nothing at all about this whole affair. But the king said, you shall surely die, Ahimelech, you and your whole family. Then the king ordered the guards at his side, turn and kill the priests of the Lord, because they too have sided with David. They knew he was fleeing, yet they did not tell me. But the king's officials were unwilling to raise a hand to strike the priests of the Lord.
Wow, check that out. Maybe there are some people that need to take that under advice. Listen to this. The king ordered the guard. This is verse 17, chapter 21, 22. So let me read it. Then the king ordered the guards at his side, turn and kill the priests of the Lord, because they too have sided with David. They knew he was fleeing, yet they did not tell me. But the king's officials were unwilling to raise a hand to strike the priests of the Lord. Why don't we use that for the authorities and say to them, be unwilling to raise your hand against your fellow man for the betterment of a few people, and most likely not even you. The enforcers of these people today don't get their just desserts after they've done their enforcing. They don't. You know what they end up doing? They end up being in the street. The army veterans treated like crap. I feel like this: if there's any soldiers that have gone to war, they need to have mansions. They need to be treated like royalty. But they do come back with PTSD and things of that nature. I have PTSD, and I never even went to war. Look at the hat. Living in the city, crazy stuff going on as a kid. So let's do that again. But the king's officials were unwilling to raise a hand to strike the priests of the Lord. So they made a choice. Did they make a choice? They decided to say, no, we're not doing that. They're not doing anything. No, of course it's going to come into, we'll see what they say about that. But that is really eye-opening, especially for what's happening today. Because everything that I've been reading, or we've been reading, because we've been reading it together, is perpetuating today. Still doing the same thing. They're still doing the same thing. They have not changed. These God's people. The Israelites, Hebrews. Because this is what this book is all about. This, Old Testament. It's not about you, some, people. It's about a particular sect of people, particular race of people. But yet they have us reading this because this idea controls everything. These ideas. So you might as well learn it because it's the system that you're in, the system that was created, brought over, and convoluted, and destroyed, and put you in a position where you don't know what's what, up, down, right side. You're confused. I was saying the other day that people, in America like to say, yeah, I'm religious. I'm this, I'm that. FOF. I'm gonna say that when these religious wars come to your doorstep, FOF on that one. Stand your ground. Like you guys like to say, stand on business. This is these people who created this stuff, they don't play with this stuff. You already see them. They go to war. Okay. So this is very important because I'm reading this. They're killing people for not following, for not listening, for doing, for being curious. He's telling you, go up in there and kill the whole nation. That's what he says. This God, this Lord. That's what they're still trying to do. But it's being perpetuated because people don't read the Bible. People don't read the Talmud because these folks are here. They're not going nowhere. So we got to figure it out, right? Because we're not in power, right? And then you see the twisted thing that these people have done and that they're doing, not just them, people who are down with them. And they keep you trapped. They keep you trapped with all this insane programming and systems. So it really doesn't matter if you read the Bible, if you read other types of, religare or indoctrinations. It's still a system. A system is a system. Thank you for the likes. A system is a system. Now, how can you be outside the system? Just by observing it. You can't, as an individual, or even as, say, people who followed the teachings of Jesus Christ, not the story, because you're following the story of Jesus Christ. You have to follow the teachings of Jesus Christ, which makes you a follower of Jesus Christ, right? But again, this is not a joke. When this is brought to your front doorstep. So this is how I know religion is not real. This is how I know. And so people, what time is it, man? Let me see. Make sure I don't go beyond. All right, I'm good. I got a couple of minutes. So I don't think we're gonna finish. We're gonna stay on Samuel 22. Let me see if I can finish it because it's pretty short. Hold on.
The king then ordered Doeg, "You turn and strike down the priests." So Doeg the Edomite turned and struck them down. That day.
So there's always somebody else willing to do what you're not willing to do. Like, just so, for instance, I've been seeing a lot of things about American workers don't want to do crops. They don't want to do the dirty work, supposedly, that the Mexicans were doing. And I'm not saying they, I'm saying we, American, because I'm American, right? I don't see how that is going to make our country better, right? Is having, I don't mind farming. Teach me how to farm, but you got to pay me what you expect to be paid. Rent, electricity, gas. You understand? That's why people don't want to do it. Because we're not going to be living, we're so spoiled. We're not going to be living 30 in one room. Because if you see these people, the way they live, they get paid nothing. Then they rent an apartment. One of them, well, they have a family, and tons of people live in one apartment. This is how they're able to purchase cars because they save their money because they're all living together. Americans are so spoiled that they don't want to do that. They need their own space. So they're spending all this money, paycheck to paycheck, of us. And you don't want to be humble to realize that the squeeze is happening, but yet and still you don't want to team up. Americans don't want to team up with others. They just want to be independent. That's the problem. So this is why anyway. Let's finish this one.
He killed 85.
So I was gonna say that there's always somebody else willing to do what somebody else is not willing to do. So he turned to Doeg, Doeg, which is kind of a weird name, but he said, "Turn to Doeg, you turn and strike down the priests." So Doeg, the Edomite, turned and struck them down. So I'm gonna find out who that is before we go. So and then I'll probably discuss it tomorrow if I wake up early enough. All right, here we go. So Doeg. So I'm gonna look that up. So he didn't have a problem with doing it. He said, Doeg, go ahead, do it. So Doeg was like, all right, got rid of him.
His men wore the linen ephod. He also put to the sword Nob, the town of the priests, with its men and women, its children and infants, and its cattle, donkeys, and sheep. But one son of Ahimelech, son of Ahitub, named Abiathar, escaped and fled to join David. He told David that Saul had killed the priests of the Lord. Then David said to Abiathar, "That day, when Doeg the Edomite was there, I knew he would be sure to tell Saul." I am responsible for the death of your whole family. Stay with me. Don't be afraid. The man who wants to kill you is trying to kill me too. You will be safe with me.
So, okay, I love your soul, not your role. You already know. Wake up, wake up. So we're on 23. We got 5 more to go. We'll be done with the book, the first book of Samuel. Then we're going to be moving into the second book. Say thank you, Father God, for this day. Take it into your hands and I will follow you. Again, this stuff is no joke. And these people will kill you. They're showing you right now. They're showing you. Listen, he said just go kill them. They will do that for this misunderstanding that they have. So, don't sit around looking for somebody to come and protect you. Go praying on your knees when somebody's coming at you to kill you because you don't believe what they believe in. So you better mount up. If you're Christian or you're Muslim or you're religious, whatever, it's this war. It will never end. And it's coming. It's already here in America. You already see it. This is why people supposedly came to America, was to escape persecution from religion. And it's coming. You have not escaped it. These religious wars are deep. They are very, very real. You can see it now. They're telling you that, it's the oil, you know, it's bigger than that. It has nothing to do with the oil. There's oil everywhere. It's about regulation. It's about power. It's about control. So, love your soul, not your role. You already know. Wake up, wake up. Do your thing. Do your thing. Wisdom Wednesday. Get a quote. Remember, know one thing is that you know nothing. That's a quote from Socrates. I just put it in omnicosmic terms. So wake up, wake up. You already know. Happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you for coming in, like, sharing, subscribing. I appreciate it. A little late, but we did it anyway. Those days that are rough are the days that you need to push through and ask Father God and Mother God for strength, right? And to push through. So just look at it this way. Look at life this way. If you have 2 parents, right, and they conceived you, then you gotta look at life, in that manner. Because it's been proven 2 entities make a third, make a trinity, right? Or even if you want more than just that. So look at it that way, right? In terms of being part of this life, observing it. It's always in motion. Life is always in motion. It never stops moving. Even when you're sleeping, the only thing that is encapsulated, like your body's in motion all the time. You're breathing, your circulation's working. If not, you'd be dead. And that doesn't mean that you're not moving, because it just means your consciousness was separated. But remember, know that you know nothing, and everything changes. Everything moves. So when you're sitting down and you think that you're stagnant, you're doing nothing. That's not true. You're in motion. Your mind's in motion all the time. So love your soul, not your role. You already know. Wake up, wake up. Happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you for coming in. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'll see you on the next one. Godspeed.